Goodwill ultimately was built on our founders' commitment to serve and the courage of the people that they set out to serve. Commitment to serve on the part of the employees and the courage of those people that Goodwill was established to serve. And we're no different today. In fact, if you said, Kevin, what are the two things that really matter at Goodwill San Antonio? Our stores matter a lot because they're an enabler for us. We'll have 21 stores by the end of this year and associated donation statements or stations, and they matter a lot to us. And your generosity in supporting those matters a lot to us. But ultimately, it comes down to the commitment to serve of our employees and the courage of those people that our programs are set forth to serve. That's what's important. And that's exactly what was important 71 years ago when Bill Sinkins set us up. So today, if you said, what are your credentials at Goodwill, Kevin? What do you want us to sort of look back to? And everybody here has their own credentials of various different kinds here. But for us, it's those two things. It's commitment and it's courage. And that's what we want to talk to you about today. And we're going to ask our employees to tell you about those two things in their own words. So from the standpoint of a commitment to serve, there's lots of ways that you can measure commitment. It can be intensity, it can be longevity, it can be competence, it can be all of those things. But the one that's really struck me among all of those is the lifetime of service that some of our employees have committed to Goodwill San Antonio. And there's one of them in particular who I got to meet pretty early in my service with Goodwill. He and I have something in common. Sometime during the afternoon, both of us have to get up from whatever it is we're doing, and we got to go for a walk. And we normally walk around the block. And it was walking around the block one day that I got to know Julian. And Julian and I started talking, and I realized, wow, there's a lot of tribal wisdom in this fella. 47 years of service. So I can't think of a person better suited to tell you a little bit about our mission and to give you a shining example of commitment to service than Julian Cruz.
The journey for me with Goodwill Industries began way back in February 1969. The rewarding part of my entire career at Goodwill, but especially in what I do now, is seeing the development of people. A couple of years ago, I was a mentor for someone who was in prison. When he first got out, his family picked him up, took him to buy some shoes. He said he looked around, he saw the people there, he broke into a sweat, and he began panicking, and he told his parents, I need to leave. Then he came to our program, and he's successfully employed now, but it took time, it took certain steps for him to just feel comfortable being in society. So that's one life that we helped. Changing a life is not easy because it all starts up here. You got to change this, so it's in the mind, before you can change how you express what you believe. And changing that, it's a beautiful thing to see. Every time we change life, it cascades down. Mom works, dad drives the truck, and mom is a nurse. And the children see that and they say, wow, I want to be that way. So it has that cascading benefit to the community, not only the people we serve directly, but their family members, which could be in the thousands of individuals besides the people that we serve directly. And there are many people throughout our territory who need help, who have obstacles to overcome. And for them to want what you want, what I want, to work. That's it, to produce, to be of value, giving back to society. There are many people who are not there yet, who want that, but they don't have a job because of an obstacle. And what we do is we help individuals overcome those obstacles so they can be like you and I.
Wow. So Julian, would you stand up and let us say thanks? 47 years of service. Your son Mike here with us today too? There he is. I was just thinking, Mike, as I was watching your dad speak, and I thought, wow, your whole life, your dad has worked at Goodwill for us. That's pretty cool too. So, thanks for sharing your dad with us, Mike. We have lots of other examples of commitment to serve, and not all of them are as rich and deep and long as 47 years of service, but we have a lot of employees who have been here with over 20 years of service. And they do everything from help us with landscaping, to administrative support, to workforce development, to retail operations. They run the gamut. And we've invited them to join us today so that we could take a moment to honor their service and say thanks for a lifetime of service on their part too. So if you're one of those employees that have been here for over 20 years, would you please stand up and let us say thanks to you as well? So the other group of people that we point to in terms of a commitment to service are our managers and our leaders, our leadership. And we're really blessed on that front too. We have people that truly get it. They are servant leaders. They put our mission and our people first, and they do the hard work of Goodwill, wonderful work of Goodwill every single day. So today, just as an example, we have been operating 20 stores that range from Laredo to Kerrville, New Braunfels, Seguin, and the metropolitan area of San Antonio, and the attendant donation stations that support those stores. We'll have about 583 people who are working at Randolph Air Force Base, Lackland Air Force Base, Fort Sam Houston, with the city of San Antonio in various capacities. And those employees are doing work on behalf of Goodwill for those different agencies. It ranges from document management, helping take care of the medical records of Air Force airmen and Army soldiers, personnel records of Air Force airmen all across the world, answering the phone when those airmen call in with a personnel issue and need the Air Force's help. It's a Goodwill employee now who answers that phone on a day-to-day. Many of them are veterans. And then you have the pointy end of the spear, which is what we call the workforce development team. The workforce development team is that group of people that are manning employment centers in 13 different locations across our 24-county area. And they're helping people that need our help to overcome life's barriers. They're helping them with employment skills. They're helping them with the basic requirements of how do I go find a job. And in many cases, they come from a background that's a really tough background. So on any given day, we have managers and leaders who are working either with the federal government, with people who have the toughest life barriers, or trying very hard to present the very best retail environment for the people who come to shop with us at Goodwill. It's a pretty amazing spectrum. And in every one of those areas, there's this really intense and wonderful commitment to serve. So I just ask the Goodwill leadership team, managers, directors, and the vice presidents that are here today, would you guys please stand up so I can say thanks to you? Great job.